Before I watched Beyond Journey's End, I recommended it to a friend of mine just to see what he thought about it. And I will never forget the words that he spoke. He said, and I quote, "Bro, never recommend me another anime ever again," end quote. Which is kind of weird because that was the only anime I've ever recommended the guy. Frieren. When I heard this was getting an anime adaptation, I was actually excited because, hey, I know that anime! Someone told me it would exist and now it does! A story about what happens after the Demon Lord is defeated? I could be wrong here, but I don't ever recall watching an anime that actually took this idea and ran with it the way that this one does. And I could actually see why, as much as it hurts to have to say that. So according to this anime, what happens after the Demon Lord is defeated? Nothing. Just like life stuff for the most part, but with magic. If you want my honest opinion, I really wanted to like Frieren, and at first I did, but as time went on I started to notice, hey, isn't this kind of the same as the last episode? That's kind of the same as the last episode that was pretty similar to the episode before that. I mean, like, yeah, it's cool playing life with mods on and all, but for just how long? There was no problem that needed fixing here, there was no dark twist of despair over there, and it felt like there is very little character development, even in Frieren, the main character of the anime. This anime was just about living peacefully with the powers of a god. In Jobless Reincarnation, moments like these would be remembered and recorded in history books. But that's because we knew that things were gonna change, and that change would most likely end up with somebody getting bodied. But in Beyond Journey's End, it's always like this. There's some constant calmness. Then in the parts that actually do have some action, it never feels like there's a real threat to be worried about in the first place. The characters were focusing on the small things in life, and I could respect that. But it was just actually boring. Call me unbased and uncultured if you will, but first tell me, what is the point of this anime, please, because I really don't understand. This feels to me like an anime I'd have playing in the background while I do something else productive, like find a different anime to watch. It's not like I'm trying to say this anime is the worst thing known to man. I think if anything, it just tried to appeal to the wrong audience, because the quality's there. The intro alone was able to keep me blissfully watching for about 4 episodes, and the animation is no joke. I just think the story could have been done way better, because so far what we have is Episode 1. Party says they're good friends who have been adventuring together for 10 years and have now defeated the final boss. Hero dies. Episode 2. We check up on the priest of the party and it turns out he's trying to find priest dies. And then episode 3. Adventuring. But really it's just a slice of life. Without the drama, which is kind of weird. It's almost like making an adventure anime without the action. Cause that'd be funny. Did you hear me? I said that'd be pretty funny. Well, I guess this show technically has drama, I just don't think it's done that well. There's just really no time to get to know these people to be sad whenever they pass. All we get is a brief description of how they act or something they did. It's like, oh, so you say the hero was a good guy who could take down 5 dragons at once with his hand tied behind his back? I guess I'll have to take your word for it then. This show in specific probably would have done better with a 2-hour prequel of something like the party's actual journey. Kinda like what Oshinoko did. Either that or this show's actually perfect with 0 flaws and my taste just isn't complex enough to pick up all the colors in the spectrum. When I hear adventure in a fantasy world with literal swords and sorcery, cleaning up a beach to watch the sunrise usually isn't what comes to mind. But then that leads me to my next point. That was probably this anime's exact intention. I think Frieren is actually pretty straightforward. It's not an anime about time or old people, it's about nothing. And I know I'm shooting way from left field here, but I think that's what this anime wanted to be. About nothing. Half the people watching this are probably thinking like, yo, are you serious? I needed a concluding statement, okay? There really isn't an all-powerful deity drawing your eyes to the screen at all times or an emotion-shattering plot that demands your attention. Every hype scene in this anime is intentionally underwhelming to leave room for what's truly important. Taking 6 months to find a blue flower bed. Take it from me, I dropped the anime 2 separate times. But to be completely honest, for the last time, this anime really isn't as bad as I'm making it sound. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I went into it expecting to see some high action fights, some near death experiences, and a hero guild cause every isekai needs one, but it looks like I was the one in the wrong here. I misunderstood what this anime was trying to be. I still do think it's boring by any anime standards, but I understand it and can enjoy it now, at least a bit more than I was able to before. You think that they'll be able to tell that I was lying? Dude, there's literally no way. Nice.